We thought you guys might have questions, not just about this laptop, but about every possible laptop that we could compare it with. So as you can see around us, we literally have all of them. Every 14-inch high-powered laptop. We've got the ZenBook Pro 14 for you guys. Next to it, we've got the new G14. We've got the older G14. We've got the Legion 5, where it is, the Legion 5, the 14-inch one over there. We've got the MacBook Pro 14 behind us. You get the picture. So any laptop that you want us to compare it to, just give us a note in the comment and we'll bring that out and show you how this one compares to that one. So yeah, and anything as well, like, if you do have any questions or whatnot, just interrupt us as we're going to do it, as we're doing the presentation. And so what we'll do straight away is we'll talk a little bit about the laptop itself, and then we're going to run through the benchmarks. We did already install everything. We have updated Windows. We've installed the latest drivers and firmware, all of that kind of fun stuff. And just to give you an overview of the laptop, so we're dealing with here a 14-inch laptop, gaming laptop. This is really the first from HP to do such things. We've obviously seen something like the Asus G14 before. That's been around for a while. The Legion 514 came last year, and then Asus has the ZenBook Pro 14. So we've seen a lot of these. We've tested them a lot. So we do know these laptops as very, very well. So as we test this one, we're going to give you, how do they compare. So in terms of the look of the laptop, maybe we should just start with a comparison of like the G14 for the folks. Mm-hmm. So if we bring it down, do you want to bring the G14 on? Sure. So I'm assuming most people here are probably comparing this laptop to the G14. They're priced kind of in the same range, give or take, a couple of $100, but they're really priced very similar. So as Ethan's showing you here, and you guys probably can't see from where you're looking, let's just actually we'll switch to this camera here, okay, so the guys can see from behind. That's a bit hard, so we can just hold them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys can see here, maybe we're just the focus.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Sorry, apologies about this, guys. So very similar in terms of like the height of the laptop is somewhat similar. I'll bring it up here so you guys can see it. So this is the Omen on top, the Transcend, and this is here, this is the G14, which is very thin. And what you're seeing, the Omen seems to have like quite a bit of a thicker legs to it. So I'll show you the legs here. So it's a little bit thicker, it seems, on the legs here than the G14. Yeah, the G14's legs aren't quite as thick. In terms of the body thickness itself, I'd say that the Transcend actually looks a bit thinner. I'll see if I can show you guys. The Transcend, the Omen Transcend, the body, Ethan, can we just watch the focus? The body itself looks a bit thinner on the Omen. Sorry about the focus, guys. But then the screen looks a bit thicker. So overall, the Omen just looks a tad bit thicker, and because of the legs, it seems to stick off the desk a little bit more. But in terms of the overall footprint, you can see the Omen kind of comes off the G14 a little bit. So it's a little bit bigger on this lip here. I'm on the wrong camera anyway, Ethan.
Oh, you're on that.
Yeah. So you can see it just comes out a little bit more. So the Omen Transcend 14, it's a little bit bigger, but it's kind of like, it's bigger because it's got thicker legs. It's bigger because, or rubber feet. It's bigger because it comes out the back more. And it's got a slightly thicker lid, but the actual body of it is a little bit thinner. So see if we get any questions. Then, in terms of, let's grab the Legion 5, because you guys are asking a little bit about that. Legion 5 is much bigger, folks. It's not even a comparison with these two laptops. Like, you're going to see it here. So if you're comparing, let me move my coffee mug out of the way. So Ethan's going to show you here. It is, the Legion's down the bottom, the Legion 5, so it's significantly bigger. The Legion 5, guys, it's more like a 15-inch gaming laptop almost. And it's bigger here width-wise as well, as you can see. So the Legion comes out more. It's thicker, it comes out the back more than the Omen. And just to show you the G14 versus the Legion, there's a huge difference there too. I'll put the Omen off to the side. You can see the G14 is like massively smaller than the Legion 514. Maybe we'll hold it for this guy. You can see like this. Look at that, right? Huge difference, huge difference. Okay, do you want to put that there? Thank you. And then in terms of ports with the HP, we can switch to this cam. So in terms of ports, what we've got here, we've got two USB-A here. I'll bring up the actual specifications in a second, folks. And then on the other side, the focus is really off. Yeah.
You're not making it easy on me.
Yeah, and then we got a USB-C port on this side here, and we've got also the audio jack, and then on the back we've got HDMI here and USB-C. Now, one thing I do want to tell you about the ports too that's important, folks. So the HDMI port does connect directly to the dedicated GPU on this laptop, but there is no MUX switch or advanced Optimus on the laptop, certainly none that we can find, and we did reach out to HP who did confirm that. So that's a bit odd, I must say. And what GPU does this come with?
4060, I'm pretty sure.
So this is a 4060. So that's a little unfortunate that it doesn't have that. It's really only you can run just the integrated, or obviously run the two together, integrated and Optimus basically. So that's one thing I wanted to note. The other cool thing about this, well, that's not a cool thing, but the cool thing about this laptop is it does charge via USB-C. Do you know the wattage of the USB-C charger?
It's right here. So I say it's like 140.
140 watts. So let's plug it in and maybe we can start running some tests. Let me see if the guys have any other questions. Will the Omen 14 review embargo lifted? So the review embargo has been lifted. We wouldn't be doing this for you today if it wasn't lifted. It's just that reviewers only received their review units today. Like ours literally arrived this morning. So that's why you haven't seen reviews of the laptop. What is the weight of the Omen Transcend 14? We can give you the weight. And we'll note that down. Okay, so here's the weight of the Omen Transcend 14. We'll do that quickly. Do you want to grab yours so you can note it down if you need to?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll grab it with and without the scales as well. Sorry, with and without the charger.
Okay.
Okay. So weight-wise, we're looking at 1,657 grams. Let me convert that into pounds. So that's quite a lot, 3.65 pounds. So 3.7 pounds. So it's certainly not the lightest. Just by comparison, before we have the charger included, the Asus G14 is 1,486. So you're talking about around, what's that, around 170 grams lighter for the G14 than the Omen. And compared to the MacBook Pro 14, that's actually, are people going to compare those two? Probably not.
I have no idea. Feels.
But if you're, a power user or a programmer and comparing it to the MacBook Pro 14, the MacBook is 1,605 grams. Wow, so the Omen Transcend 14 is heavier than the MacBook Pro 14.
Weird. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. 1,655, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and with the cable and the charging cable, we'll give you that weight as well if you want it. So 2,150 grams around.
2,150.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel that heavy, to be honest, guys. It actually really doesn't when you're holding it. The weight distribution is very good here, but it does seem like, it's on the heavier side for a 14-inch laptop. But then again, it's a pretty powerful one, should I say. So let me just see if there's other questions. Okay, so I just want to go through some of the questions. I'm just going to also bring up the reviewer guide. Guys, just give me a second. I want to see some of the questions you're asking are specific that I need to just double check these. We want to make sure we're very accurate for you all. Okay. And while we're doing that, yeah, maybe we can start running some benchmark tests. Oh,
Jesus. Yeah, I'll start running Cinebench.
Oh, we don't even have it saved. Okay. Okay, yep, we are going to check the thermals and noise of the laptop right now. Okay, so yep, no MUX, that's confirmed. And we're just going to, we're going to run Geekbench now, and then we're going to switch over to Cinebench. What mode are we in?
Performance.
Okay, let me just flick down to the right camera scene so people can see it. So we're running Geekbench right now, and this is performance mode, folks. So for performance mode for this kind of laptop, it's the Intel 155H. So our best performer with this laptop is probably what, the Spectre 14, and that gets about what,
Spectre.
700 to 800 points. Oh no, this is Geekbench.
Yeah, it's
So-
Geekbench.
So we're expecting.
The Spectre 14, there it is. Looks like on performance got a single core score of 2288 and a multi-core score of 12,500.
12,500. So we want to see it around that. And the Spectre 14, folks, that one is actually so far one of our best performers with this new Meteor Lake Core Ultra 1155H processor. This is the one I'm holding right here. It performs unusually well, to be honest. We've got the ZenBook 14 with that processor. We've had this one. We've had the X1 Carbon with that processor. This is, out of the three, this one reliably performs the best. So if you're looking for a high performance processor, but you don't need GPU, this one is a very good one to get, the Spectre 14. And by the way, folks, if you do want to buy any of these laptops, below the video are our affiliate links. They do help the channel. That's how we can do what we do with minimal advertising on this channel, is when people buy the laptops through those links, we do get a small kickback, so that's very helpful. So people are asking a lot about G-Sync. I want to check that. How solid are the G14 and Omen 14 compared to the MacBook Pro 14? That's a really good question. So the G14 is very well built. I would say, we'll grab all three of them right now. So I would kind of describe it like this. The MacBook Pro 14 build quality is probably like, I'd say it's pretty much a 10 in build quality. It's built really, really well. The G14 is very, very close behind. I'd say so the screen, Ethan's taking a look at the screen right now. It's not quite as solid. Like the MacBook Pro 14, its screen doesn't move at all. It is rigid, right? Mm-hmm. Where the G14, it moves a little bit on the screen, right? But the keyboard deck is really solid, like the MacBook Pros.
Yeah, the keyboard deck's really solid.
Yeah, so I'd say the G14, you're probably looking at a 9.5 out of 10 for build quality, with the MacBook Pros a 10. The HBO, let's just try the screen. Screen has a bit of wobble to it. We'll show the guys here. It's a little bit of wobble, but overall it's really good. The keyboard deck doesn't have a lot of flex to it. I don't know if it's as nice as the G14. Do you want to check the flex between the two of them?
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that it's pretty good, despite, I think that one's a metal chassis as well. This one feels. They're
But that's
pretty
aluminum
comparable.
too. The G14's aluminum as well.
Oh, they're both aluminum. Okay.
Yeah.
Because this one, I mean, I think this one has a little bit more flex, but
I think so
it's
too.
plastic.
But honestly, guys, I would say this build quality, it's really tight. I mean,
really
this
good.
is maybe a 10 for the MacBook, a 9.5 for the G14, and then for this one maybe a 9.
Yeah.
Like it's tight, and you can really feel it. So let me check what camera the guys are seeing. Yeah, so if I hold it up here, the panels are very flush. You can run your finger along, it feels really smooth. So it's very well built. And if you want to look below, you can see huge vents down the bottom. I mean, look at that, that focus. Massive vents down the bottom. You can see the two big cooling fans off to the left and right. Okay, so Geekbench is almost run.
Very close.
Yeah. I just want to ask. Okay, let's put this off to the side.
There.
And let's answer some more questions. All right, and we're just going to run through our normal set of tests, guys, so you guys get to see what we're doing, and we'll just answer questions along the way. It does not have a mux switch, Tim. I've covered that earlier, or advanced Optimus. Okay, we can show you the control center in a second, so you guys can see the different options. We'll bring that up straight after we're done with the Geekbench one. Tim, you're saying it does have. Where are you controlling it from, Tim? Let's show you, Tim, what we're running here.
Yeah.
So 2337. How did that go versus the others?
I'll check here in a second. I mean, I got 13,000, which was above the Spectre, because the Spectre got 1250 or 12,500. Yeah, it did pretty well. It was around the same, I'd say, in single core as most of these other processors, but it was a little bit better in multi-core.
Than which one? The
Spectre.
The Spectre. So this is probably one of our. Is this our best performance for?
So I didn't finish testing the Yoga 9i, and that looks pretty close to it.
Okay.
But besides that, I'd say they're pretty equal. as
Yeah.
being-
Oh, hang on. Just so people. Oh, the Yoga 9i.
Yeah,
We
that's true.
actually recently got Lenovo's Yoga 9i. This is the 2-in-1 14-inch. Their premium 2-in-1. You might have seen it at Best Buy. We're still testing that one, so we don't have scores for that. But so far, this is our best score in Geekbench for a 14-inch laptop with this processor. Can I just call out one thing that we didn't notice about this while this was running for the team? What did we not notice while this was running?
No fan noise.
No fan noise, folks. Is
How
it?
hot is
And
it?
this is on the performance mode.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just bring up the mode selector so the folks can see, guys? This didn't have any fan noise. I have to laugh. Andrew just donated $20. Andrew, really? I'll just have to buy you a cocktail when I see you next. Folks, Andrew is in the house. If you haven't seen his channel, go check it out. Andrew Mark David. He reviews a lot of laptops. I'm blown away how he possibly gets to review that many laptops. It's crazy, but it's always good to get a second opinion. So check his channel out too. I'm sure he'll have this laptop coming. Folks,
This is the performance modes.
yeah, let's have a look at the performance modes just so you guys can see here. Okay. I just want to make this. You can see there's a bit. It's a glossy screen
It's
here.
a very glossy
It's quite a
screen.
glossy screen. So sorry if it looks bad. Normally for you guys, we kind of make the glossiness not look quite as bad in our beautiful camera shots, but it does here. So here's the performance modes. Okay. So I want to show where the graphics switch are.
Right there.
Okay, so as you can see here, we really only have hybrid or integrated graphics, okay? There's no muck switch that we can find. I want to see Tim's comments because he claims muck switch is in the Omen app. We are in the Omen app, Tim,
Yep.
okay?
Unless there's
We're
another.
in the Omen app right now, mate. There's no muck switch, okay?
I don't see any other one.
And if you do want to run the dedicated graphics, okay, you can plug it into an external monitor via the HDMI port at the back, okay? Any idea for the release date in Europe? I'm not sure about for that. How is the Slim Pro 9i compared to the HP Omen and the Spectre 14? Okay, this is a really good question. Where is it? We have it here. We got it. We got them all, guys. We got them all. You're talking to us here, right? So here is this Slim Pro 9i or is this Slim Pro 7?
That
So-
looks like Slim Pro 7. Slim Pro 9i 14 is right here.
Okay, Slim Pro 9i. This one, I like this laptop a lot. It has a mini LED display. It has tons of ports. This is kind of Lenovo's top of the range consumer laptop, 14-inch. It came out last year. From what our Lenovo rep tells us, there isn't going to be a model of this one for next year. Let me just switch out of the, people don't need to see the Omen as much. There isn't going to be an updated one for this year with Core Ultra, which is really, 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 really weird. We do have a video coming for you on Saturday of its bigger brother, the Yoga Pro 9i 16-inch, which has been updated to the Core Ultra 9 processor. And I have to say, guys, it is smashing it out of, it is doing really, really well, that laptop. And it's got, our one has a 4072. So this one compared to the Transcend, let's just focus on the task at hand. I would say it doesn't go quite as far back. We can show folks, if you want to just close it for a little bit. So, I mean, there's not really any comparison. So, and the reason I say that, guys, is this one, the Yoga Pro 9i, it's on Intel's 13th gen H series, and you don't, I wouldn't want to buy that. I mean, we just ran Geekbench on the Omen Transcend with the Core Ultra processor. It was dead quiet, right? And it got a great score. This one, you're going to hear some fan noise, okay? So I would, unless you get it for, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I'd get the Omen, honestly, if you're choosing between them this year. I know it has a SD card reader and some other ports, but I wouldn't. And you can see it's a bit bigger. The Yoga Pro 9i, it's a bit bigger here. The Omen Transcend 14 extends back a little bit more. So they're not apples to apples. In terms of thickness, I'd say the Omen Transcend 14 is a little, it's not quite as thick. But I would probably, me personally, I'd probably aim for the Omen Transcend 14 unless I needed it. Why don't we check the display? Let's see the display readings on SpiderX. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'll swap this back. We are banging laptops on these shelves.
I know.
It's terrible. All right, let me answer some questions here. Yeah. Okay, so we've got to ban someone again. Let's remove him. He's completely banned from the entire channel. Okay, So, can you show where the heat exhaust from the HP and the new G14 are? That's a good question. So I'll do, so the heat exhaust I just showed, while Ethan's setting up, he's going to do our display readings. So for the Omen, they're kind of like directly, let me just show. They're literally, I'll just show you, they're kind of like right here at the bottom and right there. There's a very, very big vent. You'll see it down here. You see how big the vent is? And you can see, you can even see the exhaust fans, okay? So you can run that. And then on the G14, it's huge. And there is a little bit of difference. We haven't opened the back of the Omen Transcend 14 yet, but the G14 does have 3 fans. Okay, it's got this tiny small fan in the center. And just a little note on that, you might have seen my review on the G14. Both the G14 and G16, the ones with 3 fans, there's kind of like this weird fan noise. You hear the normal whoosh of the fans, but then you see this like high-pitched fan noise. And it's not coming from the main fans. And as I spoke to our Asus rep, he kind of felt, and so do I, that maybe it's that 3rd fan inside it that's causing the high-pitched fan noise. So we're going to run Cinebench in a second on the HP Omen Transcend 14 to check its fan noise, because we know the G14's fan noise really, really well at this point, and we know the G16's. The G14's fan noise, it's definitely going to be something you're going to hear in a quiet room for sure, especially as it does have that high-pitched sound to it. I found it usable. Right now we've got some air conditioning running, so in that kind of situation, it kind of drone, you know, it did drown it out a little bit, but honestly, it's not what I would like for fan noise, I must say, for the G14. And the G16, we have a new unit in, so our first unit had really bad fan noise for the G16, but we think there's something wrong with that model because we're getting really odd scores. So Asus actually sent us a new G16 today, which we're testing. That's why, by the way, we don't have our G16 review out for you guys, because I'd rather be slow and be right than rush out a review. So we literally have a second G16, exact same unit that's come in today. Okay. The keyboard review. Let's talk display. I'm going to switch to the display so people can see our readings.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's what we got for the display. So,
turn that
and we got
brightness.
okay. So we're seeing pretty good, obviously, pretty much excellent scores for color. What I always say color accuracy, but it's really what the wide gamut. It's really wide gamut. Okay, so you can see here very. Can we just freeze this? I think once I take over, we can get this on a wide aperture and just freeze the focus because it's going a bit weird. And then let's have a look at the brightness, folks. Okay, so we're looking up 418 in terms of brightness. So this is actually pretty similar to the G14.
So, yeah.
And then let's go and have a look here at the. I want to have a look at the refresh rate.
Oh yeah, it's 120.
It's 120 refresh rate, so it looks like it's probably the same display then, because that's also 120, similar brightness.
Does it go down to 48 though? This one does go down to 48.
Okay, so this one. Oh, let's go back. So this one goes down to 48, which you can use, by the way, you would use that if you're like on battery and you want to conserve battery. You can go down to 48 hertz. So it looks, what we're seeing here, very similar display in terms of the G14. I just want to check if it has G-Sync. That's the main thing on the display. But why don't we kick off Cinebench? I just want to make sure we're running in full performance mode.
Yep.
Do you want to kick that off? And we can put this away. So we're going to run Cinebench now. And what we really want to be testing, folks, is we're really looking at fan noise, and we're also going to measure the heat on the chassis as well while we're doing it, because we know all the other laptops' fan noise, and so far this thing has been really quiet, like insanely quiet.
Do you want me to start with multi-core? I didn't do single core in performance, so.
Okay, just do multi-core. Yeah.
That also turned off. I don't speak here.
Okay, I'm just going to put. Oh, do you want to put that back over there?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to answer some more questions. What else we got? Thanks, Stilly, for the nice compliments on the content. I really appreciate it. Yep, so, and I can see people have copied the results of our display in the chat, which is great. Which one do you prefer between the Asus G14 and G16? Before we do that, another friend of mine is in the chat, Mr. Jared's Tech. A expert on gaming laptops, so it's great to see you there as well. We got the crew here. This is great. All we need is Hardware Canucks here, and we'll kind of round out the team. But
I'm going to restart this, by the way.
okay.
I don't know why Cinebench has been having issues recently.
Okay. So we're just restarting the laptop to update Cinebench to make sure we can run Cinebench fresh and we're not having issues. This is Cinebench 2024 we're going to run. I did want to answer that one question. Which one do you prefer between the Asus G14 and G16? So I'm assuming you're talking about the new ones. I don't know is the answer. And I'm going to tell you why I don't know. And apologies for people who've been on the live stream for a while. The G16 we had come in was not great. It was horrendous fan noise. And when we looked into it very closely, what we found was the G16 was running the fans like crazy. It was keeping the CPU temperature at like 70 Celsius, which is really, really low. And so we felt something was wrong with the laptop. We've been in communication with Asus and they've sent us another one. It literally arrived, I think, yesterday. So we've got to rerun everything on the G16, which I'm going to do tomorrow. So I cannot give you the answer of G14. If you ask me right now, G14 or G16, for the G16 we had, absolutely not. G14 for sure. But I just don't know, folks. Let me rerun everything. I can tell you one thing I will tell you is just standing here right now, the HP Omen Transcend is dead quiet. It is dead quiet. Do you know what the loudest laptop is in the room? Anyone guess what the loudest laptop is in the room right now? It's the MacBook Pro 16 sitting to my right. It's the M2 Max version. It's the loudest one in terms of fan noise. Okay, let me answer some other ones. Which would you say is better from the G14 2024 and the Legion Slim 514? I would say the G14 for sure. It's a tough one. What did we not like about the Legion Slim 514?
I thought it was just loud or hot. It was one of those two. I can't remember. I'd have to go look at the numbers to be sure.
But then again, the G14's about the same.
It was also very hot and loud, yeah.
I personally would take the G14 for sure over the Legion. I'm going to look up Legion Slim 514's display as well. I just want to make sure I've got that right because what we might find, as I recall, maybe their display wasn't great either. Let me just check our readings for that.
So Lenovo. Actually run this time.
Oh, it's running. Well, we're gonna flick the camera over to Cinebench so you can see the Cinebench 2024 run while that's going.
You're not gonna see much.
And Legion Slim 514, here it is. I just want to see what we got for the. Yeah, I just want to see what we got in terms of how it went for its display, display brightness. Yeah, 400. So I would definitely choose me personally, if assuming they cost the same, which they don't, the Legion Slim 5 is substantially, is it Legion Slim 5? Legion, it is a Slim 5.
Slim 5, yeah.
Yeah, is substantially cheaper. If money is not an object between the Legion Slim 5, can we just bring it out? That's what we're talking about. It's over here. Slim 5 and the G14 here, I would definitely get the new G14. And the reason is, it's so much smaller. It's so much smaller. Its display is a little bit brighter. You know, both of them get warm. You know, the G14 certainly gets warm. It really does. But it's kind of like at the borderline of what I would consider uncomfortably warm. The older G14 did get uncomfortably warm. But the only thing about the G14 is you do have this very slight high-pitched fan noise coming from what I believe is coming from that third fan. Because the third fan's like right in the middle of the laptop. So it has... the airflow is probably a bit constrained there. So that's between the two, between the G14 and this, I'd get the G14, the Legion Slim 5 that is, unless you're saying maybe a $400 difference, $500 difference, then I think, yeah, it's really how much you want to spend is the big difference. Yeah. But I wouldn't compare those two. I think the G14 is much nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's answer some more questions. So let's talk about fan noise, guys. We're going to do a fan noise reading right now. And I can tell you, we're running the Transcend. I mean, folks, we've got to turn off the air conditioning. The air conditioning unit is louder than the Transcend.
Got some noise now.
Yeah. We'll show folks what we're seeing. Okay. That's not a lot of fan noise. That was 48.5. I'm going to be quiet so people can see it. I mean, folks, this is not a lot of fan noise. I'm going to bring you guys up some graphs so you can see the fan noise on the other laptops, okay? Or actually, could you just tell me, what is the G14's fan noise on turbo mode?
On turbo mode, on like Cinebench? Oh, yeah.
Cinebench, yeah, turbo mode.
G14, turbo mode.
It's like 55, isn't it?
55.
Yep. So guys, I want you guys to see this. Everyone remember, G14 here to our left, turbo mode is 55 decibels. Now I want you to have a look at the HBO Omen Transcend 14 on its performance mode. I'm going to be quiet so you can see the reading. Okay, so you're seeing a max of 52 decibels versus 55 on the Asus. So it's quieter than the Asus. And I will say this, yeah, 48 to 52 is what I'd say is the range, folks. It does seem to pulsate just a tinsy bit. But yeah, even if it goes up to 52, it's not as loud as the Asus. I want to do that once more because, and by the way, folks, I just want to be fair on the Transcend. I'm going to push it back a bit, Ethan, because I'm holding the decibel meter closer than we would normally do, just because of the way the camera angle is. So I'm going to push this back a bit to show people how we would normally read it. Okay. Yeah, so that's about 51. So compared to the 55 of the Asus. So it's obviously quieter. We hear it, we can just hear, you can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is we just didn't hear any fan noise until we fired it up in terms of the performance.
Until Cinebench, yeah.
Yeah. Would you just mind passing my phone? I'm just going to turn off the air conditioning in the room, folks, because there is an air conditioning unit running. That might be affecting it. Normally we would not have it running while we're doing these tests. So I'm going to we're only got it running because we've got so many cameras going right now. So I'm actually going to turn that off right now and we're going to retake the temperature because I think, sorry, not just the temperature, we're going to take the fan noise and we will do the temperature as well. You might need to, is it? Yeah, it's just one, right? Okay. So we'll do temperatures first. Actually, I just want to wait until this fan noise comes off. Because sorry, when I say fan noise, folks, we've just got an air conditioning unit running in the background. We want to make sure it's turned off so we can effectively take that. Okay, that's turned off now. So here we go. We're going to do the decibels again. That's not right. Something's wrong because it hasn't got louder, right? It's this thing in the background. I think it's about 52, folks, if you're wondering. It's probably about 3 decibels less than the 55 we recorded on the G14. So that's positive. We're going to actually register, just measure just some of the temperatures so you can see that as well, okay? And normally, I want to be clear, we would normally measure temperatures after another 7 minutes or at least 6 minutes or so. We do a 10-minute run. This is a single run of Cinebench. It does take a while. So I'd like to run it a bit more. Like when you see in our review, our formal run of the temperatures, it will run like we do with the other laptops for 10 minutes. But you can see here, 38.9. I mean, that's really, 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 really cool. Like really cool, okay? Well, let's just run another one. So 906 for multi-core. And I'm going to run another one straight away. How is that compared to, say, the G14?
The G14 got 900 on performance and 934 on turbo. So it's a little bit less than the G14 on turbo. Yeah,
930 to 906. I mean, it's much of a rounding error, honestly.
It's pretty close, yeah.
And keep in mind, folks, the G14 does have the new Ryzen 8000 series, even though it's really the same Zen 4 processor you would have seen in the 7000 series. So it seems pretty decent temperature-wise. I don't want to declare like a victory or anything now because we got to run it a bit more. So right now I'm just checking the temperatures again. Okay, so now we're starting to see 39. You're going to see it here. So 39. And what was the keyboard deck of the other one on turbo mode? The G14 on turbo mode? 39, I can tell you straight away. 39 is very low for a keyboard deck with this much power. I've just said it straight.
On turbo, 43.
43. So you're talking so far, it's probably going to heat up another degree or so. It does seem like it's like a decibel or two quieter than the G14 and a degree or two on the keyboard deck less. It doesn't feel quite as warm. But we've got to keep running a little bit. So I want to answer some more questions for folks. So this is unplugged. No, we have it running plugged in. We can do a run unplugged in a second, but this is absolutely plugged in. This is our first run of this test, so we wanted to run it plugged in. which one is the better overall laptop? I love how that we're getting asked this question. Sometimes we've got to have a good laugh at you guys. We just opened this. We installed all the programs today. You're seeing us test this and review it. I'm going to swap to the other camera.
It's fair.
You guys are seeing us test it and review it live, right? We're seeing the data in real time like you are. I would not form any concrete opinions about this laptop until about at least another week or two, probably 2 weeks. Let the bulk of the reviews come out on it. Our review is probably going to be about a week away from today, I would say. I would expect it probably next Friday, next Saturday. That's when we'll have really put it through its paces. As I said, right now, we're running Cinebench. This is the second run in a row we've done. It's probably been running about 4 or 5 minutes. You know, that heats up the laptop for these temperature and fan noise. So normally we'd run it for 10 minutes. We just don't have that data point yet. But what I will say is it's doing very well. I will say that so far, compared to the G14, I can't hear a high-pitched fan noise. I'm going to get very close to it. No, doesn't have a high-pitched fan noise. So far I'm liking what we're seeing here a lot. And so far I would lean towards this. But let's see what specs they have available too. And below the video, folks, we have put a link to actually buy the Omen Transcend. You can buy it at Best Buy, okay? So we've got a link there right now. And so it's $1,700 for the 4060 with 1 terabyte. $1,700, yeah, so it's right in the price range of the G14. HPs do have a tendency, folks, to go on some pretty gnarly sales. I would expect this to be dropping by anywhere between $200 to $400, which will make it an insane deal if that happens. So far, my lean is towards this, honestly. I mean, the only thing here is there's no 32 gig option here at Best Buy. Let me just bring it up on the screen so people can see what we're looking at. Okay. And we'll go to HP's site and take a look as well. Okay. Okay, that didn't come up at all. Great. We have a monitor. We were going to share you the pricing. But it's $1,700 right now at Best Buy. The link is below the video. I see there's already 4 reviews and someone's given it a terrible review. How? Was excited but overheated and the battery itself drained quickly.
Ah.
Okay. Pretty but
Doesn't
with
feel
problems.
very
I
hot.
really want to... I'm reading the Best Buy comments, by the way, folks, which we normally like to do before we review laptops, just to check that we haven't found missing anything. I really want to like this device. The screen is amazing, sharp, colourful, variable refresh rate. The speaker's efficient. Fan is well behaved. It's really quiet. Game performance, there are no high-pitch issues, same as what we said. But this person said they came with 2 issues. First, it had a faulty Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip. We're not finding that. It seems to be perfectly working for us right now. He said it drops every 3 to 5 minutes like clockwork. We are not finding that. We've been running on Wi-Fi we installed all these applications over Wi-Fi. The other problem is that the device will not allow me to update its NVIDIA graphics drivers through the NVIDIA website or GeForce Experience. As it tells him it doesn't have compatible hardware. I mean, that's probably going to be an early teething problem with the laptop, but that doesn't seem like major ones. Powerful yet not customizable is another review. One big problem I had, and we're running Cinebench, by the way. We're not just sitting here doing this. We're just doing some research on the laptop while we're running Cinebench. Yeah, so custom power profiles for power draw and refresh rate. So if I had 3 profiles, yeah. But I mean, honestly, we've tested all of these high-powered 14-inch laptops. This seems to be doing really, really well. It's off to a good start, would you say? I mean,
I'd say so,
Ethan,
yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so far everything I've seen about this laptop I really do like. I mean, the keyboard looks really nice. So far, it doesn't feel that warm. I measured it at 40 while you were talking, so it's a little bit warmer, but it's still doing pretty decent.
I mean, guys, I'm going to bring... I wanted to show the folks some graphs, but we can't do that. I mean, 40 degrees on the keyboard deck during... We've been running Cinebench consistently for some time now, which maxes out the CPU's performance. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's off to a really good start. Well, let me just feel it. Yeah. And the palm rests, guys, these are cool. The palm rests are very, very cool. We just felt them.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's very, very positive. So we'll try the keyboard and trackpad in a second too, once this Cinebench run is done. And then we might do a time spy one. So Tim,
940.
by the way, has confirmed that his Wi-Fi card also worked perfectly too, because he has one of these. So that's 2 laptops of the HP Omen Transcend, which is working fine on Wi-Fi. Oh, 943 multi-core. So we just beat the G14 with this, our highest score of the G14. And by the way, we've run the Cinebench a gazillion times on the G14. So we're talking 943 points here. So very comparable performance-wise with the G14, and it smashed our prior winner of this CPU, which was the Spectre.
Yep.
Oh, we have something cool to tell you guys. I'm going to give you a little preview on this, okay? In our next review, we noticed something really unusual with the Core Ultra processors. So our next review is of the 16-inch Yoga Pro 9i, which is Lenovo's top-of-the-range consumer premium laptop. And let me switch to the right camera angle for this.
Yeah, do you mean to start writing something else?
Do you want time swipe? Let's run time swipe. And what we noticed, and this has Core Ultra 7, it has Core Ultra 9. In the older Intel 13th gen and 12th gens, you guys probably know this, we saw massive diminishing marginal returns in terms of the CPU's performance above about 55 watts sustained performance. So we would see these kind of curves as you fed it more wattage in terms of, say, a Cinebench score, it would taper off, right, at a certain point. Same as NVIDIA, say the RTX 4070 tapers off after about 100 watts of power. And you can really see a curve. Now, we've been testing this Core Ultra 9 processor, which has even more wattage than this fella, and we've noticed with the Intel Core Ultra Media Lake processors, it's more of a straight line. So the more power you feed them, they kind of grow linearly in performance. So what we've noticed with that bigger laptop, which is the 16-inch Yoga Pro 9, that it feeds at about 55 watts of power, and it performs the same as the Intel 13th gen was performing with 85 watts of power. 30 watt power difference. So I know you've been inundated with us and other reviewers saying, you know, Core Ultra performs around the same as Intel 13th Gen H series, and performance, the power draw improvement is not that great. That's true. We 100% see that. But once you get into high power draws for larger laptops, which we're just starting to now, you know, have rolled out, we are noticing that the gap between Intel 13th Gen in terms of power efficiency is quite substantial, with Core Ultra Media Lake doing quite well. And you're going to see us talk about that in a number of upcoming videos. Is RAM soldered? We have to open the back to check if it is. I would believe it is in a laptop this small. I mean, this thing is tiny, but we'll have to open up the back and check. Yeah, Tim just said SSD and Wi-Fi card are removable. HP has a video guide. So yeah, Wi-Fi RAM is going to be soldered. It's so thin, folks. It's got to be soldered.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we're going to run Time Spy for you guys now. Okay. And let me just keep answering questions. Oh my God, I was waiting for the Yoga Pro 9i review for so long. Yoga Pro 9i review should be out earliest tomorrow, latest Saturday. And that's the Core Ultra 9, and it is really good. You're going to see some really nice things at Schmick. And by the way, that laptop, and we're talking the 16-inch here, compared to, say, other 16-inch laptops we've tested, I mean, it is a quiet laptop, and it doesn't get warm to the touch at all. It's insane. It's real. Funnily enough, these newer laptops, like this one and the G14 and G16, they do now look significantly nicer, and they're a better build quality than Lenovo's top Yoga 9 range. These are better. The build quality, I would say those are now a build quality of like a 7.5, where this is like a 9, 9.5. The MacBook's a 10, right? So Lenovo's kind of trailing a bit. They don't look as beautiful. Their build quality isn't there, but in terms of heat, fan noise, performance, it's really good. Any plans to do the same TDP testing between the AMD G14 and the Intel HP Omen? What a great idea. We'll do that straight after this. We'll do the TDP testing straight. We shall open hardware info. We'll rerun Cinebench for them. How does speaker sound? We'll check that in a second. We're just running Time Spy, as you can see right now. How do you feel about the MSI Stealth 14 Studio? Ethan, I'll let you have. Why don't you describe to the guys the MSI Stealth 14 Studio?
It was just very loud from what I remember, and it was quite hot from what I remember, and it did not look very good. I remember seeing it come in and going, "Oh, that is a unique laptop."
Yeah, it's quite big and thick and chunky. The other thing about the MSI laptops right now, which drives me up the wall, is with the arrow keys, they have a dedicated page up and down key nestled right up to the left and right arrow key. You reach for that left and right arrow key, bam, you press the page up and down key. It drives me up the wall. Because I write all the scripts for the videos on the laptops that we're reviewing. Man, there was a lot of swearing that day. It was bad. Okay. When's the review for the Ultra 9? Yeah, so there's a Core Ultra 9 Omen Transcend. I don't have that one, and I'm not sure yet. Next, regarding the G14, there's an option to get a 4060 version with max RAM. Yes, we have that. Okay, this is interesting. Do you suggest getting the 4070? Okay. This is the G14, right? Okay, so folks, because we're absolutely nuts here, do you want to show them the other little thing we have that came in today? The other one?
I mean,
What? Well,
I
this
don't
is
have
what.
it. I don't have
Oh,
it.
it's not even open.
I
Okay.
don't even think it's been open.
Okay. Oh, we'll stay here. So
we'll
we have a G14 here. We also got another G14. So this is the 4070 G14, the RTX 4070 with a 32 gig of memory. We also have the G14 4060 with 16 gig of memory. I didn't know there was a spec as what was like with the 32 gig with the 4060. My gut, here's what I'm worried about. I do think the 4060 is probably going to be a better pairing with the G14, but not by much. There is this third fan in it in the center of the laptop, and it gets a little bit of high-pitched fan noise. The G16, if you get into the 4080 and 4090 with the G16, it's only got 2 fans and a vapor chamber cooling, which removes that third fan that causes the high-pitched fan noise. I believe, that's my gut, that it causes the high-pitched fan noise. So I think here's really the decision matrix, okay? Are you operating the laptop in a quiet room? If you are, I would be nervous about getting the G14 right now. I think you got to wait a bit. Let's see how the fans settle out. It is a little bit, it's going to hear fan noise. If you're running it in an environment that, you're working in a co-working space, or you're, out where we are in a very warm climate, you're running air conditioning all the time, the G14's fan's going to be drowned out. It's a great laptop. It's safe to buy now. No problems. Okay, so that's really the decision on the G14 that I think is there. And then I think you've got to look at how much you want to spend, because this laptop and the G14, this one, they cost around the same, right? They're within $100 difference for the 16 gig of RAM model. This one so far does seem to be a bit quieter and it doesn't get as hot to the touch. So that's a positive for this one. But what's the negative for this one? Well, at least from what we're seeing on the version we have, there's no NVIDIA Advanced Optimus, no G-Sync, so you're not going to get the max performance out of the GPU that you would on the G14. So there's some decisions here to be had. Next one. Okay. When do you think a review of the Legion 7i will come out? We haven't even received that one yet. I know that I think Dave had the Glacier White model. That was more like an early stage sample. I don't think he's even run any tests on it. So we haven't even received that one yet. I don't know of any other reviewer who's actually received that one. This is the new Legion 7i. They went away with the Slim 7 this year, which kind of upsets me because it was so good.
10 minutes.
Okay, sorry, we've got the Time Spy score here for you. So here's Time Spy. How did that compare to the G14?
A little bit worse. The G14 got around a 10,000 average with, I think, an 11,000 in graphics. So it does actually, or no, it only had 10,000 in graphics. That is incorrect. But it did actually beat it in CPU by about 1,000 points. But it was.
Did you just say the G14 had 10,000 in graphics? Yeah.
10,000 graphics, 10,000 CPU, 10,000.
Oh, hang on, let's make sure everyone understands. Our G14 though has a 4070.
Yes,
doesn't it?
True.
It has a 47. Yeah, we don't have the G14 score for the 4060, folks. So please don't get alarmed that this one's only getting 7,665 for the graphics score when the G14, that's the 4070 is reading. Yeah. But still, I wouldn't without a mux switch. It's some light gap. It's not the most.
I also
ideal.
looked at the Legion Slim 7. Yeah, the Legion Slim 7 also did do better than it. And that also had a 4060 in it. So
the Legion Slim 7 for
from
the
last
4060
year.
did better.
Yeah.
By how much for graphics?
For graphics, it did about almost 3,000 better. It was 10.
Wow, so this is really low for graphics.
I did notice earlier the wattage is really low in the GPU. Let me go see what
it is. You're right. This has a low wattage GPU. Let's have a look at that
65.
for folks. 65 watt GPU for this one. Yeah, so that's one thing when you're choosing between it and the G14 or the Slim 5. That's definitely a decision point. You've got to ask yourself, like, how much gaming are you going to do on this laptop? Because this I would classify as more of a light gaming machine, right? With those, you're going to get a little bit more a decent amount of performance for the gaming, right? So far, though, for me personally, the kind of user I am, where I would like to have it snappy for programming, I would like to have it, decent for video editing. I game on the side. Because I use the laptops mainly for work, programming is work, business tasks is work. This one being as quiet as it is, it's really quiet, guys. Literally, you can see right now where I've got just the fans have stopped. Again, they've stopped, folks. It's not, is it even, actually, that should be spoiled.
A little bit. But.
A little bit is what, Ethan, do you want to just describe it to them?
Yeah, it's incredibly quiet. You can hear it if you put your ear to it and listen, or if you're just totally silent, but like...
Hang on, let me just make sure that they can see it from what you're holding. Hang on, I just want to say something too. I'm going to swap the camera. Don't pay that much attention to that reading. The MacBook Pro 16 on the right side is probably generating the fan noise that you're hearing. You can hear that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, even then, 38 is, I feel like, just the sound of this room is around 38.
Yeah,
I don't think you get much lower than that.
Yeah, you're right. So what we're dealing with here, guys, is a very quiet, we've just run Time Spy, we've run 2 runs of Cinebench on multi-core. It's not a warm laptop and it's not a loud laptop. This is really, people are going to really like this. I think, yes, you're suffering a bit on the gaming performance. That's what it seems. Certainly without the mux switch and the low wattage GPU. But other than that, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I don't know why there's a random thumbs up coming up.
OBS. Do you want to try, so let's do wattage with hardware info.
Yep.
I don't think you need to do a 10-minute test. Just run one and people will see it. So
Gotcha.
That's what we're going to do now. We're going to check the TDP, the power draw of the processor, and then we'll do keyboard, trackpad, and sound, and then we'll say goodbye to you guys. But let me hear while Ethan is going to run a Cinebench test, where he's going to measure as well. I'll swap it over, apologies, so you can see hardware info scores. We'll see the core temperatures as well, and the wattage. So we can do that right now, and I'll answer some more questions. And by the way, I have no idea if you guys like us to do these live streams. Like, we could do these for every kind of what I would call marquees, the main laptops that come in. We could do one of these if you want. So let us know, with a comment if you like it. If I had $1,800, which laptop would I get? If I had $1,800, this is what I'd get. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, we're running this. Okay. While we're running Cinebench, I would say here's the choice that I think is out there. I think there's 3 laptops, and this is me personally, that I would, 3 laptops I would consider. I would consider the base spec MacBook Pro 14 M3 Pro, not the one with the M3 CPU. If I could find that on sale, even with 512 gig of storage, I'd get that. If I wanted portable gaming, I would probably get this one, the HP Omen Transcend 14 of what I'm seeing right now. Obviously the Mac can't really do any AAA gaming. This would allow me to do that. And then if I was not wanting a portable laptop, I just wanted to sit down and get real work done. I wanted a good screen, high performance. I didn't want to be distracted. I'd get the Yoga Pro 9i, the new one with the Core Ultra 9 processor. That's our review coming out Saturday. We've got the HP Spectre 16 here. We've got the G16. I want to note, I said this earlier in the meeting, in the live stream, that the G16 we've had so far seems to be a bit rough. We're getting really, really weird results, and we just actually got in a second G16. So maybe the G16 ends up being my favorite, but right now I'd say for 16-inch, I personally would get the Yoga Pro 9i. And that's at the $1,800 price point, all 3 of those. Okay, your turn. $1,800 price point, what's your use case, and what would you get?
Right now, can you remember me, is the price of the Spectre, I assume, the 14-inch is less?
It's about that.
Okay, yeah.
It's about 2,000.
So I'd say out of everything that we have right now, I do really like the Spectre 14 back here.
What do you like about it?
I like the 2-in-1 capability. I do kind of want something that I'm able to draw on, just because I do have that personal side that I like drawing on the tablets and such. I also like just how well it performs and how quiet it is and how it's really not that warm for the performance you get. Obviously, it doesn't have graphics, which is a big issue for a lot of people. But if I had to get graphics, so far I'm leaning towards the HP Omen.
Yeah, so
Obviously,
it's early stages.
Yeah, it's early stages, and I think I want to see how it performs in like Cyberpunk, because I think it'll perform okay. It obviously won't get you 60 FPS, probably like 40.
Well, it depends on what.
Yeah, it depends if you're running low. You probably could, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this one seems really interesting. The G14 wasn't bad. I feel like I don't want to say I liked the other one better.
Which other one?
The 2023 version.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say I liked it better, but there was just things that I liked about it that they took away. Like, I liked the cooling, even though this year's is, I think the cooling's a little better. On the underside, it's way worse, because obviously
on
it's
this one.
not lifted and such. So I'm like, that definitely changes it. But it's still a really nice laptop. Like, this thing's amazing.
I mean, I enjoyed the G14. You just got to be okay with a bit of fan noise. If you're in a quiet room, you're going to hear that high-pitched noise. It's probably going to drive you a little bit nuts. So Spectre 14 is on sale right now. If you do want to buy the Spectre 14 or any of the laptops, use the affiliate links below the video, folks. If you're wondering how we can do this with so many so many team members and without, I mean, how many sponsors do we have? Not a lot, right? It's because people are buying the laptops with our affiliate links. That's how. So I appreciate that when you guys does support the channel. Let's have a look. Someone's asking battery life compared to the G14. We cannot tell you that today. We unboxed the laptop today. We installed it. We hopped online you're seeing the findings as we're getting them. Battery life, it's going to take a couple of hours to test, right? So we can't tell you that right now. We will do a single run of Cinebench on battery to see if performance drops. We'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at wattage of what we're seeing here. So we're seeing a max power draw of 89 watts, which seems about to, I mean, this is back of head. I mean, what am I saying here? It seems like it's about what I would expect, about a 90 watt power draw.
Yeah.
And that's the max, right? That's a burst power draw. Then we're seeing it's currently drawing 63, which is very high. Oh my goodness.
It is drawing a lot, yeah.
That's a huge amount of 65 watts. Okay, wow. So it's managing to stay in quite a high power draw. I would like to run this on HP's balance mode, which is their default mode, their non-performance mode, because we often find with many laptops on the balance mode, you lose a little bit of performance, but it's just not that much. But you gain a lot in fan noise. So what are we seeing, Ethan?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the G14, and we're looking at the watts max for turbo mode was 78, and for performance was 65. So it's quite a bit higher than those. And the average was 73 and 53.
So 73 and 53, you're depending on the two modes.
Yeah, so turbo and then performance.
So what was the average performance on the turbo mode, which is equivalent to this mode? The average wattage.
The average wattage?
Yeah, because I want to compare it to this.
73.
73 during the run, and here we're seeing 65. So this is drawing a bit less power so far from what we're seeing than the G14. Keep in mind that the different CPUs, right? G14 is using an AMD CPU. This is using the Intel Core Ultra. So we're seeing less power draw here, which is nice. But again, guys, you got to let us run we tend to run this quite a lot to make sure we get the right numbers. So this is, our initial test. That's all it is. But this sounds a lot quieter than just from my own ears. It sounds quieter.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say the G14. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, one of the Best Buy reviews for the Omen mentions not being able to update drivers from the GeForce Experience. We will test that right now. So we get 921, which is about what we got before, right?
It's a little bit lower, but yeah.
What did we get before?
900, 940, and 920.
Yeah, so it's about that. And then if you can see max CPU, temperatures was 107, but the average was 76, which we're seeing a lot of, by the way. This is really interesting, folks. And again, we're doing a separate video on how these Core Ultra processors react to wattage and power draw and temps. This will be a separate video, and I say that, it'll probably 2 weeks away. We've got so many videos happening. But what we're seeing with the older Intel 13th gen, they would hit around, say, 97 to 100 degrees Celsius, which was 100 was the max back in the 13th gen. Then they would stay close to that for the duration of the run. Okay, so those laptops, because the CPU is running at 100 degrees Celsius, the whole laptop felt very, very warm, right, on the Intel 13th gen. What we're noticing with Core Ultra, like we just saw then, is we see it can burst up to, it can hit about 110 Celsius, the CPU, which is 10 degrees higher than before. We're seeing it hit pretty high, like 108, higher than Intel 13th gen, but then we're seeing the average temperature during a Cinebench run or even a 10-minute Cinebench run around 70, so much lower than the Intel 13th gen, which the average for the run would have been like 97. So it's very interesting. We're seeing these Core Ultras, they spike in terms of the amount of temperature the internal processor gets to, but then it kind of drops a bit. Okay. What we were going to run, let's check.
I switched it to balance. So.
Oh, this is balance, but before we do, let's let it cool down and we'll try the NVIDIA updating from GeForce Experience and see if we can do that. Do you want to try that for the guys? So we were told that at least someone reported this in the Best Buy review that they couldn't update the driver in the GeForce Experience, so we're going to try and do that now.
I did check it and it was updated earlier, so...
But it's not giving us an error saying this, because he said it was an unsupported laptop. We're not seeing this. Yeah, so that Best Buy review, I mean, I don't know if they've fixed that straight away, but both those issues that he had, we're not seeing those issues. Wi-Fi seems to work perfectly, by the way, folks. Tim said he also had that. He had to update it from NVIDIA's website, but it were not from the GeForce Experience. Okay, thank you, Tim. This is very helpful.
Wow.
So there you go. That's another opinion. Anyone in the chat get the Lenovo Yoga 9i 2-in-1 with Intel Core Ultra 7? You don't see much information on it, especially battery life online. You mean this one right here? This is the new Yoga Pro 9i. This is not the Yoga Pro 9i. This is the Yoga 9i 2-in-1. See, and I'm not even on camera. I'm still looking at the laptop.
The laptop view.
This is it here. So this is the 2-in-1 with Core Ultra. This is the actual Core Ultra model. This isn't last year's one. He's asking about battery life. You will have a review. We will have a review out on it. I started using it yesterday. It's so nice. It's so light. It's really cool. These chassis, I must say, these Lenovo chassis, these have been around for a couple of years now. And these new ones, HP's Omen Transcend 14, which we have in front of you, you know, these redesigned ones, Asus's G14 on the other side, they just feel so much more premium. I mean, it's not a bad chassis, but like you can feel, and this goes to all of these, the Yoga Pro 7, the Yoga Pro 9i, it goes to this one's, which is the Yoga 9. The panels don't connect quite as nice. They don't connect as nicely, right, the panels. So, but other than that, yes, we will have a review out on it coming soon. Okay. It's so ridiculous how we have all these laptops here. It's insane. And then, are you going to do a review? Yes, we are. Yeah, there'll be a dedicated review on it for sure. How's the hinge quality of the HP Omen? Let's try that. So we're running, I'm going to zoom back in because we are running, actually, Ethan's going to try the hinge right now. What do you think?
Pretty good, I'd say. I feel like it's I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, and in comparison to what? What would you? Do you want to try the G14 in comparison?
Yeah, I feel like the G14s has a little bit more. I don't know what you'd call it, but like stopping power as you're kind of like opening it.
It's a bit more firm.
It feels it's harder to open. Well, this one feels a lot more like it's just that much issue. It does have a little bit of force that you need to just start it, but once you start it, it's pretty smooth, I'd say. Yeah, that's a good hinge.
Okay. So now you're running balance mode, and we're going to measure the heat, fan noise, power draw, all of that, but on their default balance mode, which by the way, that's the mode I always run laptops on. I only run it on performance mode if I have to. Let's say in some environments, I might be doing some coding work and it's not fast and I need to run it on performance mode. Here in the studio, if I was doing some video editing and it just wasn't running like I'd want it to run, I would try performance mode, but for the most part I run them on balance all the time because I just find the payoff for less heat and fan noise, it's just so much more valuable to me, and you don't lose that much performance. So that's why we always run these laptops on the default mode. I know when you see a lot of graphs, most people just run, or at least from what I've seen, high performance mode. We do like to run the balance mode because of that reason. That's the one we feel is more what you would actually use as a buyer or what we recommend using as a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say, can you open the laptops by one hand? We're just running Cinebench right now. Once we're done with that, we will try that.
Mm-hmm.
This stream is super appreciated. Thank you for that. That's really nice. It's the first time we've done like this kind of review online for you, for you guys, where we just literally, this is, and I want to be clear, this is the first time we've used the laptop, okay? If we get enough feedback that you guys like this, we're happy to do this with at least all the major ones, I would say. And this is, I would consider this a very major laptop. So we're going to test afterwards keyboard. Can you open it with one hand? We're also going to test trackpad and sound.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to check on this. There's a question. Okay. So a couple of confirmations for you. Okay. So the laptop does not have G-Sync, unfortunately. We just got confirmation of that. It does have an aluminium chassis.
Oh.
So the combination of no muck switch, no G-Sync, the lower wattage GPU. It's not. I wouldn't say it's low. It's definitely not low, but it's
Yeah.
lowy-ish. This is a good laptop to carry around for students, do some solid gaming on the side. But it's not. I wouldn't consider this This is not like the Razer Blade 14. That laptop in terms of gaming performance is bonkers, right? So that's much more powerful than this. So that's really what we got here. We got a very comfortable, very portable. I mean, even though it felt a little bit heavier, it did feel heavier than the G14, which surprised me. Almost, I think it was the same as the MacBook, which actually has a bigger screen, the MacBook Pro 14. It's just a really good package, but you're not getting that kind of extreme gaming performance. You're getting, but what's the trade-off? The trade-off of not getting as good gaming performance as, say, the G14 is less fan noise, less heat. That's at least, I mean, we've been running this on benchmarks now for at least almost an hour. I mean, it's not that hot, guys. It's not. The palm rest is still cool. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of other things I wanted to cover while this is going on. It does actually come with a HyperX, HP owns HyperX, so you do get this backpack, and let's show people the backpack you get. Ethan, would you like to unbox the backpack? It's going to annoy people with the noise. And in there you get the mouse as well. What else do you get? I'm just checking here. So the config includes a headset, a mouse, and a backpack as the accessories. Okay, so we're going to show you that now. So you can see the nice mouse box here. Okay.
Tucked in all nice.
So this is a Haste 2 HyperX mouse. Very cool. So it's really coming fully kitted out, right? We didn't get that with the G14. Mm-hmm. And then is the headset in here? Where's the headset?
I have no idea.
Do you want to check inside?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's a headset in here.
So you're getting a little bit more value with this one. Apparently it has a headset. We can't find a headset. We're told by HP it does come with a headset.
You think it was in the box?
No, this was no.
Yeah, this is everything.
Okay. Well, we didn't get a headset, but we got a mouse and a backpack.
Mouse and a backpack. So we got 2/3 of it.
We did. So let's quickly tell the guys. We're going to do some readings for you in terms of the balance mode temperatures. Do you want to grab the? Yep. I'll let you do
Trying
that.
to switch.
Yep.
Wow. Seems like it's consistent, at least on the temperatures.
This seems to have frozen a bit, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, so temperatures, what are we seeing? Yeah, it's
40.
we'll go here. It's just not coming up that camera.
Wow.
I'll pull this out and put it back in. Maybe that'll refresh it.
Yeah, maybe.
Does it run out of batteries, maybe?
It's on 30.
Okay. Oh, there we are.
There we go. I'll do it again just in case they didn't
Oh,
see
and
it.
should we miss the
So
wattage? So the average wattage during that was 46. So it's about it's a quite a bit. It's about 10 watts less.
Yeah, 40.
40. Okay. So it's not that warm at all. It wasn't that, like, let's just run it once more just to get the fan noise because we let it finish. And it was 795 points, so 800 points you're looking at. So you lose about 100 points in Cinebench for it out of 900. So you're losing a little bit more than 10% in performance, but it's drawing 10 watts less power. It remains very, and this is the default balance mode we're talking about now, which is the mode I personally like to run the laptops in because you still get, as you saw, you're losing 11-12% performance, but it's not that loud. So we're running it again, and we're just going to do a quick fan noise measurement, so you guys can see how loud it is on that mode. What do I think about the ZenBook 14 OLED Flip? I'm a student and does some stock market on the side, looking all over the place for the last 3 hours, and it's already 4 o'clock in the morning, haven't slept. Blue sky, we do have the ZenBook 14 OLED Flip here. I don't think it's been updated with Core Ultra yet, to the best of my knowledge. Right now, I would get the HB Spectre 14. We like it. I think it's on a big sale right now. I think someone said at Best Buy. I would probably get that right now. That has the new Core Ultra one, and also that model has been completely redesigned this year. So I'd probably lean you that way. We do have affiliate links down below the video if you do, so please buy from that because it helps us out. Next one is there was an integrated HyperX dongle, right? An integrated HyperX dongle, as in to give you additional ports. Was there in the box? We can go, the box is right here. Hang on, maybe the mouse is in this box. So this is the box, by the way, folks. I'm just going to flick on the camera. We're still running benchmarks. That's why we're going so slow tonight, because we're running benchmarks while we're talking. So this is the box here that we got. Okay, go beyond. Is there anything in here? Let's have a look. Do you want to have a quick look if there's any?
Sure.
Is there a mouse in there or a dongle?
Oh, it feels like there could be something in here. It feels heavy.
Let's have a look.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a headset right there.
Okay, so we found the headset. So it does come with a headset straight in the box, which is nice. That's why the box is so big. You get a mouse and you get the backpack.
Oh, I've seen this one before.
Oh yeah, we saw it. Oh, it's a nice headset. So this is the Cloud9 wireless headset that you do get. And as I said, you also get a mouse and you get a backpack. So this laptop, buying this laptop, it's fully kitted out for a gamer.
I don't see the dongle though.
Okay. So you heard Ethan, guys, we're not seeing a dongle. A dongle would give you additional ports other than the 2 USB-A. I think there's two USB-C, one on the left, one on the back,
Yep.
and there's HDMI, and there's 2 USB-A. I don't think you'd need other ports. They're all here. I'm not, as in the ports, the only port you're really missing here is an SD card reader.
Yeah,
They're not going to put a dongle in for that, I don't think. A dongle is what I'd expect with a laptop like the XPS 13 Plus that literally only has a USB-C ports. Okay, let's take these readings now. So I'm going to show you the power draw, guys. I'm going to zoom back into the laptop. I'm going to show you the power draw. This is on balance mode. Okay, so balance mode, we're seeing a max of 106 Celsius in terms of the temperatures of the CPU, but you can see it's running at 69, which is what I was telling you guys before. We keep seeing these massive drops in the thermals of the CPU with all of the Core Ultra laptops we've been testing. They all go down to about 70, which is, in the old 13th gen, they would sit at around 97 Celsius. So this is pretty good. Or they would, that's unfair. They would drop a little bit, but not like this. And then when we look at down here, package power. So you can see currently it's drawing 43, 44 watts. It burst at 83 on this mode. So for, say, a software developer who's doing a lot of like some quick code compiles, like you're doing an in-place compile for, you're debugging some code or something, and you're recompiling just a couple of files, you know, you can burst up to 83, which is still a lot, but then it's sitting at, you know, 45, 46, 44 watts of power. So that's not a lot of power draw, and that's why we're seeing, you know, it's fan noise isn't that loud. In fact, I'm going to measure fan noise for you right now, okay? So I've got to hold it here where we normally hold it. That's not a lot of fan noise, folks, okay? Just telling you right now. That was what, 43, 44. Could you just check the Asus G14 on its performance mode? What was its fan noise?
Not 44.
Was it?
Not 44, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Looks like we got 48 on performance.
48. So similar to its performance mode, this is 3 to 4 decibels less in terms of its fan noise on its default balance mode. So this is, for the most part, I mean, we've been running this outright for benchmarks for ages. Let's do another measurement of the heat. Do you want to do that, Ethan? Yep. And we're going to show you the heat now. Okay.
I'll give you a guess. You'll probably get it right. Oh, actually, this time it went up to 41.
41. So this is not a lot of heat on the keyboard deck, folks. And when it just bounced to 41, it means there's like a tiny little hot spot with 41, but for the most part, it was what? What was it for the most part before it bounced?
Yeah, 40, 39.
Yeah, so overall, what we're seeing, and we're going to move on to just some other things like the sound, in terms of the thermals, the performance, we're seeing, would you say, similar CPU performance to the Ryzen processor in the G14, which is very, very strong. we're seeing, I'm going to come back to me for this, we're seeing worse GPU performance. Would that be fair? It doesn't have some of the gaming things you would like G-Sync or a Mux Switch. But where this laptop shines is for a similar price. You get a backpack, a mouse, and a headset. And the more important thing is you're about at least 3 decibels quieter on the fan noise, which it is noticeable on both modes, at least, if not more.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's not only 3 decibels quieter, but you don't hear the high-pitched fan noise of the G14, which is really annoying. And also on top of that, it also feels cooler to the touch than the G14. So that's really the difference between the two, as we're saying. If you're hardcore gaming, the G14 is going to give you better performance. Okay? All right. Let's fire that off and let's try the keyboard.
Okay, you may just stop the run.
Yep, we're going to stop the run. We've run this enough now. We're going to try the keyboard and we're going to try, we'll try the keyboard, the mouse, and the sound. Why don't we try the sound first?
Okay.
So just give Ethan a second. I'm going to answer some more questions. Can you always... good for gaming. Macs gaming. There's a lot of discussions about Macs here, guys. Why is there so many discussions about MacBooks? Macs gaming fate is tied to Linux gaming at this point. It's a developing problem, not a hardware problem. Played it safe and bought a MacBook Pro 14 M3 Pro, which was $1,799. I end up needing a Windows laptop later for college. I should be able to sell it for a good price. Yeah, MacBooks hold their price pretty well. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. You guys are asking your own questions. I got the G16 2024 from Best Buy. I got the 4080 version. Yeah, I want to get the 4080/4090 version into the G16. The reason is I've heard it doesn't have the third fan. It uses a vapor chamber cooling. And because of that, I believe the reason I'm hearing high-pitched fan noise on the G14 and G16 I have is if you don't get the 4080/4090 model, you got the 4070 or 4060 model, you get 3 fans, and there's a fan in the center of the laptop, a really small one, and I think there might be some constricted airflow causing that high-pitched fan noise. So I've got to try that. I'm really looking forward to trying the 4080 G16 to see if it doesn't have that. Okay, let's see. Any questions, guys? What have you got? You guys answer your own questions. I don't even need to be here. I can just go. So we're going to play the sound right now, and we're going to tell you what that's like. I'll try and reduce the sound volume if it's too loud, but let's pump it at max, and so it doesn't blast people's ear. I'll pull it down if it's too loud. Go.
Okay.
I think that's too soft. I mean, that was pretty soft. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, that wasn't that loud.
Yeah, that was pretty quiet.
That was pretty quiet. 82 decibels. I mean, the max can get up to 96 on that song, right?
I don't know if they get up to 96, but they definitely get up to the low 90s at least.
Yeah, so that was 81 or 82.
The max would definitely be 84 possible, but like it's 83, probably more.
Yeah, so that wasn't that loud, I would say. Maybe let's flip over in the G14 and show people that what the speakers are like on that.
I hope it's charged.
Because they were pretty good, right? The G14 speakers. They were ridiculously loud, weren't they?
I don't know if they were ridiculously loud. I feel like they were decent quality.
What do you want to see the sound of this compared to? Do you want to see it compared to the MacBook Pro 14, folks, or do you want to see the G14? Josh, is there an honest Intel or AMD laptop that competes with the MacBook Air for size and portability? Absolutely, there is. Here's what you want to buy. The ZenBook 14 from last year, the one with the Ryzen 7000 series processor, it costs about $699. I think on our website we do look at best laptops for students. I think it takes you to Walmart to buy it. That one is a really good alternative to the MacBook Air. And that's at the lower end of the price point, right? It's going to give you, honestly, it has a really, really long battery life, like ridiculously long battery life. It's probably not MacBook Air battery life, but it was pretty substantial. And it's a great laptop, and it's a lot cheaper, so that would be one equivalent. On the high end, the premium end, the X1 Carbon, the new one with Meteor Lake, it's pretty expensive right now. It costs around the $2,000 price point. That one, I am loving that laptop. So similar to the Air, right? You're not going to do any. It's not a super powerful laptop. Its Core Ultra processor in it actually performs worse than the ones we're showing you here. It's like 100 points worse, but that laptop it's like almost dead silent. That laptop, it feels very cool to the touch. And this year's model of the X1 Carbon is super lightweight. It's much lighter than the Air. It's 2.4 pounds. It is so light. It's 200 pounds less than the X1 Carbon from last year, which was also a very light laptop. So premium X1 Carbon, lower end, the ZenBook 14 from last year. Okay. This is so great that you're doing live reviews. I wanted to ask, thank you, Sarah, appreciate it. I wanted to ask if in the screen you would see the small pixel dots. Oh, that's what a great answer. We'll question. Sarah, hang tight, we're going to test that. A lot of these OLED screens, when you stare at them from about 12 inches away from the screen, like if you hold your laptop up close, say you're using your laptop in bed and you're keeping the screen close to you, you might on a white background see some like you see these kind of dots. I wouldn't say they're it's just weird. You don't see it on like the Mac screens, but you do see it on some of these new OLED displays that have come through. So we'll test that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the views of the laptops. We've got the G14 next to it.
I need to redo this one, I have a feeling.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we've got on this side, the bigger laptop, the black one is the HP Omen Transcend 14, or the darker color, and then the silver one is, of course, the G14. And we're going to play sound on both back one to one, and we'll tell you, we can have a listen. So G14 first.
Make sure it's not muted. Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Yep, so G14, some... Sorry, just... Okay, by the reactions that you can see from Ethan and I's face, the G14 crushes the Omen Transcend 14 in terms of the sound. It is so much louder and the quality is so much better. That's another win for the G14. So, yeah, that's wow. Can you just now sorry, we just had to explain our expression there, right? Because it was much better. So, I'll get it going, and we're going to show you the actual decibel readings themselves between, so you can see. Okay, now here's the Omen Transcend 14. So that was about 87 decibels. Okay, so here's the Omen Transcend 14. It's a huge difference, folks. It's massive. The G14 is much better in terms of sound than the Omen Transcend 14. Like, it's...
Yeah, it was...
I'd say the Omen Transcend 14 is like kind of acceptable. It's a bit low volume, but it's kind of...
it's got decent range, I think. It's just the actual volume level was pretty not great. This one has really good range and really good volume. Because, like, there's only, like, 4 decibels, maybe 5 between the two of them, but it does not sound like a 4 to 5 decibel difference. It sounds, I'd say, close to, like, an 8 or 9, just because of the range of it.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to do a quick keyboard test. I'll do that. So I'm going to try... have we have even Word open on this thing? That's right. Not on, but I don't need that one. I know that one. Cool. That one I know very well.
Hey, that's fair.
So I'll just do a nice little side angle, and we'll do some typing, just to... check the keyboard. Oh, it's very nice.
I really like the keyboard.
It's very clicky. You can hear it clicky. Very. Okay. Okay, here's some initial thoughts on the typing on the Omen Transcend 14. I want to type for it, like I write the entire, our scripts are normally like, honestly, 3 to 5 pages. And I write the entire thing on the laptop. So that gives me a lot of experience, right? It's an 8-hour process to write our scripts. I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah.
What I would say about this, and I just tried it briefly then, it feels clicky. The keys are big. They're very large. The only thing is, it seems okay. It seems fine. It reminds me a lot of the ThinkPad X1 Carbon's keyboard, where it's very clicky. It feels good, but the travel it doesn't have the most travel, I would say. I would say the G14 is a little bit more comfortable, but this is probably an 8.5 out of 10 keyboard. I want to spend a bit more time on it. It was just the travel that I think would get to me. It's not quite as much travel as I'd like, but other than that, I think I want to be clear, it's not bad travel. It's not a low travel keyboard, but it's still, it doesn't feel like a low travel keyboard, but it's not quite as good as some of the better ones I've done in terms of travel. But other than that, how clicky it is very satisfying. In terms of the layout, and I can just flick the camera again so you guys get to see it if it's, you can't even see it. I'll just hang on. Yeah, in terms of the layout, what we're seeing here, the page up down key is nestled within the arrow keys, which I personally like because I know some people like dedicated keys. I get that. But what we don't want to see is these keys being placed in areas that are going to, cause you to mishit them. Like say they're nestled right up against here, you accidentally hit them, or in MSI's case, they're kind of nestled in here. So we're seeing a nice, very standard keyboard layout, which is good. No issues there. We don't have the Copilot key, which is weird. So the Copilot launches, Windows as AI. A lot of these new Core Ultra laptops have that built in. Other than that, it looks like the backlight effectively lights up both the secondary function and the primary function, which is nice. Here, let's see the different backlight stages. Yep, there's different backlight stages. All good here, guys. Yeah. All good. Keyboard, not a problem. Not the upper echelons of keyboards I've tested, but it's pretty good. It's definitely a positive. Let's do a quick mouse accuracy test. And yeah, I'd say it's probably an 8. I can feel it. It just doesn't feel like you're getting a lot like this.
A lot of travel.
Yeah, a lot of travel. That's the main thing. Okay, so let's do that. What is this in the middle of our thing?
It's an app.
Okay, so we're going to do a mouse accuracy test just so we get a sense of the mouse. Okay, I want to get about 36, right, is what I normally get.
Around there.
Yeah, and just FYI, folks, normally I can run it like twice because it takes a moment to get used to the trackpad. I'm literally using it straight away. Okay.
Behind the scenes of our intense testing.
This is what we do all day, folks. You get to see it. This is what we do. And then Ethan has to redo it for the B-roll. So at 29, so I normally get about 30, I think, or something. 29, 0 misses. It's not bad. I would say that as I was doing it, it's got a very, you can really hear, so it's a mechanical trackpad. It clearly goes down on the left and right corners, right? I think, I'm just going to be straight up, it's not a bad trackpad. You'll be able to use it, no problems, but it is not the G14's trackpad. The G14 has a much better trackpad. Much better trackpad. So let's round out the review. I want to give you my final thoughts, and Ethan, I'll talk to you, get your final thoughts. Why don't we just check if there's any crazy good questions that we just must answer. Okay, yeah, we're going to round out. Manuel's asking G14 versus this. We're literally going to finish up by telling you that.
Do multi-on battery?
Multi-on battery, yeah. We're just going to run Cinebench multi-core battery to see if we see a drop in performance. And then we'll kind of round out the review. While you're running that, I just will check if there's any more questions that we have. G14 seems to be outclassing it in almost every category. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Heat and fan noise. We tested both the default mode and the performance mode. The HB Omen Transcend 14 is substantially less fan noise. It doesn't have a high-pitched fan noise, and it also doesn't get as warm to the touch by about 3 decibels, and 3 to 4 decibels, 3 to 4 degrees on the keyboard deck, degrees on the keyboard deck, and decibels as you measure. That's both on their default mode and the performance mode. And in CPU performance performs similar. So there are absolutely some wins of going in this laptop. It's a more comfortable laptop to use. I personally would buy this laptop, But the G14 has better gaming performance, absolutely. You get, you can use the Mux switch. You can, it has G-Sync. I think it's the first OLED laptop with fast refresh rate to have G-Sync. It has a better trackpad. It has better speakers. And then one other thing on the Omen Transcend 14's way is the Omen Transcend 14 comes fully loaded. You get a headset, a backpack, and a mouse. So it's really pick your poison. If you want a more comfortable experience, probably get the Omen Transcend 14. If you want a better gaming experience and you're happy to deal with like a little bit of heat and fan noise, and when I say heat and fan noise, I'm talking about with the G14, even in everyday use, right? Not gaming. It's louder, it has more fan noise, and it feels warmer to the touch in everyday use than the Transcend. So it's really pick your poison. Are you able to deal with a bit of heat and fan noise, but you want better performance? Get the G14. If you want a more comfortable experience, get this one. That's what we're seeing right now. Over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like this one has a lot of good things going for it, not only in its heat and fan noise. I mean, like, every time we measured, it's been pretty consistent. Obviously, I want to see how it does through the gauntlet of testing, because that'll really come and show the numbers. But so far, I mean, unless you really need that extra GPU performance, this one I think I would prefer. Obviously, the ports are okay. I think
there's more than you would think, because it's got the HDMI at the back, right?
It's got everything in the bag, which is not how.
I actually like it because the HDMI's out of the way. I want some on the side. I like their port out because they're towards the back of the laptop, so the cables aren't going to get in the way of your mouse. You've also got the USB-A and a USB-C on left and right side, so you can plug things in and out really quickly, because you're more likely to plug in USB-A, USB-C devices than you are HDMI, right? That's a plug-in once and you don't do it for the use. Where you've got HDMI at the back and a USB-C at the back, so USB-C you can power it at the back there, and then use HDMI. So the ports, I mean, what does this have in terms of ports? So this one doesn't.
Got USB, got its charging, got USB-C.
And that has the weird USB-C port that you can't charge on the other side, right?
USB, yeah.
Can you charge on both? Did we sort out the charge on this?
So you can charge both the back and the left. There's obviously no right USB-C port. I still was unable to charge with any other chargers that weren't that one, but obviously I haven't used a 140 watt yet. I was only using lower power chargers, but I was using like 60 to 90 watt chargers, which I feel like is pretty standard for most people. Yeah.
We're having a bit of a weird issue right now with it. We've raised it with HP. It might just be our unit, but it charges via USB-C. It comes with a USB-C 140 watt charger, but we're having trouble charging it with other USB-C chargers. HP has told us that it does charge with normal ones. It absolutely should. So maybe it's just our unit.
Yeah.
We'll have this sorted out by the time we get to our full review.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just running Cinebench on battery to see how much it drops there. Then we'll say here, how does it compare with the G14 in terms of upgradability? Neither are upgradable. I mean, this has a replaceable SSD and Wi-Fi. I don't think that would be Wi-Fi replaceable. I can't remember.
I feel
neither of them are good for upgradability.
Open, yeah.
Okay, they're about the same. Both don't have the soldered memory.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Tim's saying if you charge on the side, it tells you to the back. Tim, our problem is a bit different, mate. Our problem is any other USB-C charger that we have, a U-Green one that we use for all our laptops. There's a 300 watt U-Green over there. It doesn't charge this laptop, only the HP one does. We've already raised it with HP today. We only opened it today. They told us straight away that it should work with normal ones. That's an anomaly. So Tim, if your ones works with normal ones, Tim said his has the same problem. Does not work with any other chargers. Wow. So Tim, we will absolutely bring this up with our HP rep. He says it should, so that must be a little bit of an issue. I can't imagine that staying the way it is. They've got to fix that. That's ridiculous.
That's a huge issue.
Okay. What about portability? How does it compare to the G14? G14 is much more portable. G14 is slightly smaller. And we did a comparison the side by side before. We also weighed them. This was about 150 grams heavier or something like that.
I want to say that's correct. Yeah.
Look, it was heavier, and it wasn't. It was definitely heavier, and it was a little bit bigger. So the G14 is more portable.
Yeah, about 150.
Tim said he tried 8 charges with it, none works. Wow. Yeah, we also. How many did you try?
I only tried like 3.
3.
So I was.
You're ahead of us, Tim.
You're working harder than me.
We'll have to give you a job here. Okay. Thoughts, predictions on the laptop with the Ultra 9. Ooh. Okay, I mentioned this earlier in the live stream, Daniel, and I'll mention it just once more. We are going to finish in a second. So Core Ultra 9, okay? So Douglas Black said, hey, from Ultrabook Review. Hey, Douglas. We use Ultrabook Review all the time. Thank you for letting us screenshot and give you credit for some of your work. So Core Ultra 9. We do have some of them in. We actually have a review coming out on Saturday morning or even maybe tomorrow on the new Yoga Pro 9i. This is Lenovo's top-of-the-range consumer laptop. It's the 16-inch version. It has the Core Ultra 9. We're seeing good things, really good things. What we see with Intel's 13th gen, and we've got a scatter plot in there of many different 13th gen laptops, we're scattering the performance in Cinebench over the wattage. And I would show this on screen, but for some now it's not working. But we knew this to be the case. We see diminishing marginal returns of feeding those laptops more power. Once you feed them, without going to the HX processor, once you stay on, say, the H processor, once you feed them more than about 55 watts of power, you see massive diminishing marginal returns. Now, with the Core Ultra 9 processor, which is more powerful than this, and a lot of them are fed a lot of power, a lot of wattage, we're actually seeing more of a linear relationship. So you see like a straight line. You feed it more power, it gets more performance, up until a point, but that point is much higher than the Intel 13th gen. So with that blah, blah, blah of what I just said, this is what it means. You feed an Intel 13th gen H series 55 watts of power, you get about an 800 Cinebench 2024 score. You feed the Core Ultra 9 processor the same 55 watts of consistent power, you get around 1,000. So, and that's because it just doesn't taper off as much. So we're seeing Core Ultra 9 with these Meteor Lake Core Ultra processors, we didn't see that big a difference till Intel 13th gen. On these smaller laptops, we didn't. We see them a little bit more power efficient, but not a lot. On the bigger laptops, and this is a 16-inch one that I'm just talking about, we are seeing Core Ultra pull away in power efficiency, much more so from the older Intel 13th gen. So we're seeing good things is the answer for Core Ultra 9, as long as the laptop is a bigger laptop. Which laptop would be more optimal for creators? We're still testing. Right now, the one I just mentioned, the Yoga Pro 9i, it isn't for sale yet. This is the Core Ultra one, Core Ultra 9. You can even get it with a 4070 in some markets. That one's pretty good for creators. We use a variety of laptops for creators. You know what? This is the best. We use so many different laptops for creators. We use, so let's just hang on. We just ran the Cinebench on battery.
Mm-hmm.
How did it drop in performance?
Yes, it had a drop of, it looks like about 100 points.
And this is on performance mode?
Yes, this should be on performance mode.
Okay, so we're seeing a 100-point drop in performance on battery.
943 to 812. So
943 to 812.
Almost 150.
So we can just show you the screen. Okay.
Oh, I closed it.
Oh, you closed it. Okay.
That's good.
But let's just round out here. For creators, I mean, we're using the MacBook Pro 16 M2 Max. We are using the, we just lost our signal. I think we just run out of battery probably. Did it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
we did.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Do we have a camera? We might have to end here. Oh, we're just going to swap batteries, guys. Sorry about this. Is that what happened or overheated?
I'm going to bet they're both gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just, sorry. Okay. We should be back. Okay, sorry. For creators, we're using the MacBook Pro 16 M2 Max. M3 Max didn't make that much of a difference, as I have a video out on it for our kind of workloads, so we return that. We're also using the Asus ZenBook 16X. There's a 16-inch version, the one that...
The Pro 16X.
Pro 16X, we use that one. We love the StrixScar 18. We've got really into 18-inch laptops right now. We're going to do a video on the best 18-inch ones. StrixScar 18 is really good. We're just going to fix that. Apologies, guys. StrixScar 18, it's actually a pretty light and small for an 18-inch laptop. I know that sounds nuts, but it actually is. It's much smaller and lighter than some of the others we have in. So that we use for creators. I think we rounded out. So tech being tech. Yeah, sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Oh, again, seriously?
No, that's...
Oh, that's they're getting the delay.
The delay, don't
okay,
worry.
So let's wrap up here, okay? Sorry, we ran out of battery on the main camera, which is really annoying. How heavy are charges the G14 Omen 14? Wait for our full review of that. So let's wrap here, okay? Thank you everyone for watching. It's the first time we've done one of these. live reviews where we're really getting a sense of the laptop as we're telling you. I know a lot of people are trying to compare this to the G14 and even the Legion Slim 5, which is Lenovo's 14-inch gaming laptop. I'm going to run you through the differences right now, just so you know them. The Legion Slim 5 should be cheaper. If it's not, that's a problem. It's certainly heavier, it's much bigger, it's bulkier, and it gets a bit warm to the touch. It doesn't feel as premium as these two laptops, okay? So I want to see at least $300 odd price difference below these two for equivalent laptop, but it performs well, right? When it comes to these two, which I think a lot of people are choosing between them, here's the main difference, okay? The Omen Transcend 14 appears to be a very good laptop, extremely good. It appears to be very, very comfortable to use. We're noticing a lot less fan noise than on the Asus G14 in just regular use. We're noticing it when we're running in performance modes and in gaming. We measured both the default mode and the performance mode on this one versus the G14. We're seeing a couple of degrees cooler on the keyboard deck. We're also seeing less fan noise, okay? So that's the win of this one. CPU performance between the two is the same. The other win of this one, you also get a backpack, mouse, you get a headset, you get a lot of free stuff with this one as well. So the Omen Transcend 14, very, very good laptop, very comfortable laptop for use. This is a great laptop for people whose primary purpose is something like software development. They're doing power user tasks, maybe CPU ones, because the CPU performance is on par with the G14. You're doing power user tasks on the laptop and you're kind of gaming in your downtime. You're just doing a bit of light gaming, or you can do some AAA gaming, but you're more doing it in your downtime, okay? Now let's switch to the G14. The G14 is more portable. It's a tinsy bit better built. It has much better speakers. Its trackpad is better, and it does have it's better set up for gaming, okay? So you do get more performance out of these. Both have, well, that is 4070 right now, but you do get things like a mux switch, you do get G-Sync, which you don't on this one, okay? So that's going to give, it's just going to give you more frames because it's connecting directly to the dedicated GPU. If you want to use the dedicated GPU on this one, the Omen Transcend, you have to plug in via the HDMI port at the back. So if you're doing more gaming first and you're happy for a little bit of fan noise, because the G14, I'm telling you right now, guys, you hear this light, high-pitched fan noise, and you do hear a little bit of fan noise in a dead quiet room. You're also going to feel a bit more warmth. The Omen Transcend, we were running it non-stop on benchmarks for about an hour just then. It is cooler to the touch for sure than the G14. So G14 is more for those who are really, you're gaming first, other things second. This is more other things first, gaming second. That's my 2 cents. What do you think, to wrap up?
Yeah, I think I feel pretty similarly to you. I really like this thing. It's really nice. I mean, the keyboard, it's very different. I feel like they're really trying to, I don't want to say experiment, but I feel like laptop companies are starting to change things a little bit, especially with all these redesigns. The G14, G16, the HP Spectre. All the redesigns this year, not only do they feel better, but they look better and they're performing a lot better. And so I'm very excited for this year. I think I'm leaning more towards the HP Omen personally.
Yeah, me too.
Just because I don't feel like that extra 2,000 points you get in the performance is really worth the trade-off that you get from the extra heat and fan noise. Because this thing is, like, we didn't measure it going above 41 this entire time, which is pretty crazy.
It's dead, and it goes to dead quiet very quickly. It's already dead quiet. It's a little bit, it is warm on the keyboard deck, right? But so is the G14.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's right. I also would probably, me personally, have a slight lean towards, I would have a lean, for sure, because of the fan noise, I would have a lean towards the Omen Transcend 14. That's me personally. Not saying the G14's bad, I'm certainly not saying that. In my review,
it's really nice.
I thought it was a nice laptop, but I think I don't like fan noise, I really don't, and I work in quiet rooms a lot, so I would also have a lean. And also, I don't think either of us are like counting frames, where I think, if Taylor were here, he would probably, I'm assuming he would probably more gravitate. He hates the high-pitched noise too.
Oh, that is true. He does hate the fan noise. I think he would probably like this one, but we'll have to ask him.
Yeah, if you're counting frames though, the G14 is going to get you more. So that's it.
There you go.
That's all we got, folks. Please tell your friends about the channel. If you do want to purchase a laptop, the way the channel makes money is through the affiliate links down below the video. Also on our website, so definitely go check them out. On our website, you'll also find all the laptops we do recommend for different types of users. and you'll find our own notes on the laptops there as we test them. So hopefully that helps you out. That's all we got. We're going to end the stream now.